Okay. Ready?
Boy.
Next question.
Oh, very special.
How long does it take while exercising to increase these levels of hormones?
I didn't do it.
All right. So all of you got question 1 right.
Booyah.
Question 2. How long does it take while exercising to increase the levels of those hormones? It takes 20 minutes, so the answer is B. After exercising, how long can the effects last? The answer is A, 90 minutes. Oh, number 8. Osteoporosis can be avoided by participating in activities like swimming. The answer is false. Osteoporosis is prevented by weight-bearing activities. Swimming is not a weight-bearing activity.
I don't even know. I'm trying to remember, but didn't you say yesterday, like, you were talking about this and you said, like, one of them isn't swimming? Like, you can't avoid osteoporosis thingamajiggy without doing weight-bearing activities, and you said swimming isn't one?
Correct.
I thought you said, yeah, you did.
Right, so swimming is an example of a non-weight-bearing activity. What are some other examples of weight-bearing or non-weight-bearing activities?
No, running.
Well, running is a what?
Non.
Running's a non. There's no weight.
There's weight pulling you down.
I mean, there's a lot of weight-bearing activities in running. There's a lot of pounding, a lot of gravity that's taking effect on that. What else?
Sleeping.
Sleeping. Would we call that an activity? Some of you might. Are there any others that we don't consider weight-bearing? What about things like kayaking and canoeing?
I think that
Okay. What about bicycling?
I mean, you're moving your
Will kayaks still work your upper body though? You have to
I'm not saying they're not. Swimming. Are you working when you're swimming?
Yeah.
But is it easier on the joints?
Yeah.
Do people who sometimes have issues with their joints participate in things like swimming or biking? Are there any other things that are considered non-weight-bearing activities? There's not a lot out there, are there?
Water polo.
Yeah. Basically, anytime we go into the pool, anytime we're in the water, suddenly we're into non-weight-bearing activities.
Unless you do the workout.
All right.
Whoa.
So you guys got question 9, correct?
Let's go with ace.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that little orange mark?
Well, the little orange mark,
Oh.
the answer is ACE, A-C-E.
Maybe someone like put in 2 letters.
Yeah, somebody might have one anomaly in there where they got part of it right or they missed part of it.
I accidentally hit B.
But it looked like almost all of you knew that it helped with your sleep. 31% of you knew that it increased your memory retention and recall.
It makes you beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't make you beautiful.
Makes you
And helps
popular.
relieve menstrual cramps.
Makes me
Does make you beautiful, Keegan. Some of this stuff there's a whole lot of studies being done. Why do I ask you to stand up and move?
So we
So
don't
get
have
the blood flowing.
Right, and if we increase the oxygen flow and the blood flow to our brain, do you think that might help
We'll be
with
able
how
to
that...
understand things better.
Huh?
We'll be able to understand things better.
Yeah,
That's why we took a walk yesterday.
it was part of it. That was a nice day, and believe it or not, you talked me into it. You had logical reasons for it, and I'm okay with that.
I messed up on this one. I don't know.
Yeah, exercise has
true,
no
Tyler?
known benefits to
Wait,
help
this
the
is
body weight.
bothering me. 11 plus 88 is 9.
I'm sure there are some decimal points in that
You
percentage.
don't show it.
I know. We'll call Smart and say,
Oh,
fix
yes,
this.
I got this wrong.
Yeah.
I got that right.
I got it right.
The only reason I remembered it is because it's like a different word that she said yesterday. I was like, okay, I just gotta remember that. Like stroke volume. I didn't. We just said it, so I was like, I gotta remember that.
Yeah. Adipose tissue is the terminology we use for body fat. I want you to understand the difference between fat and body fat. So we oftentimes talk about using words like adipose tissue instead, using that terminology. For a long time, particularly from my generation, everybody talked about it. You eat fat, you are fat. Okay? And so people were not differentiating between what was stored body fat and what they were eating for dietary fat. And we need some adipose tissue. Our bodies need it for healthy skin and hair and nails, and it transports and stores some of our fat-soluble vitamins. But we need to keep it in a healthy balance, that height to weight ratio. That's why we use the BMI as a starting point. Is it possible for somebody to be within the normal limits for their body mass index and still have too much body fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you all got that one right? You got that one right? And that should be the end.
Nice. So now shut them off.
So, yes, now you may shut them off. And then when you take them up, go ahead and swap them out after they're off for a netbook so that we can work on, we've got entering your data.
Number 10.
Okay, so once you're set, log in, go into your SharePoint. You should be logging into that. I shared with you.
Wait, you shared it with me, I think.
Yeah, with some of you. If we need to share more, then we'll share more.
The trust relationship between this workstation and the primer failed? Okay.
While you're logging on, yesterday you started coming up with a brainstorm for fitness activities. So 2 things we're working on in the next 20 minutes. Your Tyler's handwriting. One is you need to get into the SharePoint document and you need to enter the rest of your data into that SharePoint document. If you're done with that, then what you need to do is what we were talking about yesterday, when we are going to start creating workouts using the FIT principle, frequency, intensity, and time, okay, and making sure we have a warm-up, a workout, and a cool-down for one of the areas that you were struggling in your fitness test. Or if there was no areas that you struggled in, for an area that you would like to improve. You have to do at least one. If there is an overall performance you want to do, then you can include many things. For example, if your flexibility is in question, and that's where you're struggling, you're not going to want to just stretch. There's no true stretching, warm-up, workout, and cool-down. When we're talking about yoga, we can get there, but most of the time when we talk about improving your range of motion and your flexibility, you're going to want to increase your core body temperature. You want to go for a walk or a jog or participate in some physical activity. I want you to take something that you're already doing and include these components. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything, well, then let's add something, because you should be doing something anyway, right? They were just talking this morning. What did they say on the morning announcements about cancer prevention? What did you talk about, Anna?
Secondary.
Well, she meant to say the word sedentary and not secondary. What's the difference between secondary and sedentary?
Secondary is what?
Yeah, secondary is second. Sedentary means what?
Isn't it kind of
It's permanent. I don't know. Preventable.
Sitting.
What do you think?
Sitting.
Yeah, the word sedentary means a non-active lifestyle. Means you're sitting and not doing much. So how much exercise are you supposed to get a day?
60 minutes.
Vigorous.
Moderate to vigorous.
Vigorously vigorous.
Okay, so if you're not there, let's get you there. And if you're already doing it, you're playing sports, you're in dance class, you're taking a karate class, you walk your dog. Okay, great. Now add components into it.
Sometimes.
Something was like doable. It was achievable.
Raw.
Specific.
Measurable.
Measurable.
Achievable.
Is the R realistic? Is the R realistic?
Achievable.
Sometimes we also use the word attainable or appropriate, meaning that, okay, I want to be able to lift a small Toyota.
I can do that.
We talk about, is that realistic? Is it necessary? Is it important? Okay, yeah, it's specific. Yeah, it's measurable. What's the purpose behind it?
If I get run over by a Toyota.
Yeah, if I ever get run over by a Toyota, then I can push it up.
Exactly.
We talk about it being relevant.
Do you think it worked out in like a list or something?
Yeah, it can absolutely be in a list.
Sweet.
I want it in a list. It shouldn't be in paragraph form. Most people don't write in detailed workouts in paragraphs.
Really specific.
So, what did we say is in a warm-up when you were reading your notes on the warm-up?
6 minutes of low workout kind of thing. Like it's kind of like a small piece of a workout.
Correct. It's very low intensity, meaning that even a walk or a light jog, doing some light jump roping. Why 6 minutes? Who remembers why 6 minutes?
Because your body has to like get like awoken and loose.
Yeah. How many of you have ever gone for a run?
Bingo.
What's the worst part of going for a run?
Starting.
First and the last.
The first mile. How long do you think it takes you to run the average first mile?
A long time.
7 minutes.
6 to 7 minutes.
16 minutes from the first
Okay. So that's many reasons why. How many of you have ever gone to a race and you watch people running before they race?
Yeah.
You told us this because your husband is like
Yeah, he doesn't understand why people run before they run.
and after.
And as a sprinter, I can tell you that my workouts were definitely, and my warm-ups were much longer than my race ever was. Alright, it is time for you to finish what you're working
Oh
on.
my gosh, class is over. I should have logged off.
I know, class flies by when you're having fun. I will give you class time tomorrow to finish this. It does need to get finished tomorrow. If you have questions, you can also send me emails through your SharePoint accounts. I answer them all the time. It's easy. There are some of you who figured out that you can email me at just about any time from those accounts, and I'll respond to you. It's all good.
Save the date.
Do you want to hit pause for me, or just, yep?